This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, this
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Put a bounty on them. They'll have it coming from cops, cartels, and every gang in the city.
The bounty is dead or alive.
I take the 3 in the front, you take the 6 in the back.
Welcome to DBL. That was Bad Boys Ride or Die, and it was a big hit at the box office this weekend. Happy Monday, everybody. By the way.
Monday.
The movie opened with an estimated $56 million in the U.S. and nearly $49 million internationally. Will Smith enjoyed the movie with fans and made some surprise appearances in the theater. You like that, Tori?
I think that's so cool.
That is great.
I'm a sucker for that kind of thing.
So with the film's early success, many are wondering if Will's redemption is complete 2 years after the Chris Rock slap at the Oscars. I don't think Will Smith will ever get rid of that, right? He'll have that scarlet letter forever. But I do think he is making his way back.
Right. Yeah, I think so. And if you think about just the place that you hold in your life in somebody's life as a movie star, it's like you really just kind of, for a couple hours, entertain somebody. You might know, I don't like what Clint Eastwood said in that interview, but when you go to watch a movie with Clint Eastwood, you're in that movie. So I think for the most part, it's now been shown that the people have forgiven. If this bombed, this would be a real referendum on his career.
Litmus test.
But I think it's the other way around. It's like the people speak, they speak with their wallets, and Steph, they were like, we're here for this. This movie makes me happy in a world where all I do is get bad news. What's up, Will and Martin?
Should I watch the movie from number 4 as someone who is?
Why don't you binge it? Start at 1.
Is it worth the watch?
It's a good watch. Does Michael Bay do that?
I do really like Will Smith.
A lot of explosions, a lot of jokes, a lot of slow motion.
I do like Will Smith. This has just never really been my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But you know, I like Will Smith. I'm glad. I think he deserves a comeback. And you know what? I think when the initial slap and everything awful happened, I think people were so confused. They were like, "What is going on? Will Smith is our hero." Everybody loved Will Smith. Then I think we all saw the absolute pandemonium and chaos that surrounded his life with Jada Pinkett Smith. And then people were kind of like, oh, like this is a man on the edge. Not that that's an excuse.
No, but it kind of was.
I think everyone was like, oh my gosh. And I think that's why the other movie he had, what was it called?
Emancipation.
Yeah, I think that's why that kind of flopped, because I think people were still like, what on earth is going on with him? Now I think people are definitely ready to forgive and move on and hopefully see Will Smith back as a happier, positive, more healthy self.
I mean, though, if you had told me that, like, how many years has it been since the slap?
2.
2. But 2 years after the slap, he would be in a movie called Bad Boy and be perfectly fine. And no, I'd be a little bit surprised that this has done well, but it is a massive hit. It's opened the box office. I think it clearly means Will Smith has been redeemed in many people's
And also,
hearts.
let's not forget that there was a good third of people online that was like, I would have slapped him too for talking about my wife. So not everybody looked at that as this egregious thing like we did.
Yeah, I think people just want to have a good time. Man.
Yeah,
I think that's what it
Go to the
is.
theater without seeing who the guy voted for or what he did wrong in his past. I mean, I think
It's
people are getting
exhausting.
over it. It is.
It's
very
exhausting.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to Celine Dion. She shared her stiff person syndrome diagnosis with the world back in 2022, if you remember. But in a new preview clip from an upcoming interview, she reveals why she decided to come forward with the diagnosis after dealing with health issues for 17 years. Let's watch.
We did not know what was going on. My husband as well was fighting for his own life. I had to raise my kids, I had to hide, I had to try to be a hero, feeling my body leaving me, holding on to my own dreams. The burden was like too much.
Too much to bear.
Lying to the people who got me where I am today. I could not do it anymore.
And we've been talking about this for the past couple of days last week. The whole interview airs tomorrow evening on NBC.
I have to just jump in here and just say, when you are the caregiver of someone, you lose a lot of your own agency and self, and all of you goes into helping that person. So like when I was helping my mom, if someone else was sick, it was like, yeah, figure it out. This is the priority right now. Any noise in the night would be about her. Any smell that was off was about her. You become fully engrossed in almost becoming that person so you can help their pain level go down. You forget about yourself, and that's clearly what happened here. I completely understand why she did this, why women do this a lot, caretakers of children have to do this a lot. So this speaks to a lot more people than you would expect as a caregiver.
Steph, I look at this, and I also think somebody like Celine Dion, that is just a performer, a live performer. She wants to be known for her voice and her singing on her show, and the idea that she's giving interviews not about her upcoming concert in Vancouver, but now it's how you feel, and everybody's got that you're sick face when they look at you. I don't think she wanted that. I think she wanted to maintain as much normalcy as she could.
Absolutely.
And that kind of resulted in her kind of keeping this on the low, maybe to the detriment of her health.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think she's a very proud woman, and like we've discussed this before, she's a performer. She goes all out. She's so proud of her movement, her dancing, like it is who she is. And so I think this is almost therapeutic probably for her to I feel like it's sad that she feels this way, but I think she feels the need to explain herself, like why she's been cancelling, why she's not being seen, why she's not, doing all the things she used to do, because I think people are so confused, like what is this stiff person syndrome? And when you actually listen to part of this interview, I mean, she was saying sometimes her muscles become so stiff, it's actually broken her ribs.
Yeah.
Like, can you even imagine?
Yeah, she said that,
it's awful.
But if you are going through anything like that, please look and get help for yourself. Be selfish, be pushy, it's important.
Absolutely, and check out that interview on NBC tomorrow. All right, Miley Cyrus is the latest celebrity to share her odd shoe choice for the gym. In a recent interview with W Magazine, she said that she mostly trains in heels and that she is, quote, interested in feminizing the workspace because so much of the workout equipment is ugly. It reminds me of the great Plato who said, evil will always triumph over good because good is dumb.
Yes.
That wasn't Plato. That was
Baseballs.
What do you guys think about this? Do you think
I don't think
that
it's
needs to be
weird.
feminine?
I think if she's on the treadmill in high heels, obviously there's some issues there. But I think when you're a performer, I mean, the likes of us aren't going out in high heels performing every night. But if you look at any documentary with Beyonce or J-Lo or anyone, Britney Spears, they have to dance and perform to literally thousands of people in heels, so it makes sense.
Yeah, she said literally, she quote, is practicing how you perform. That's why I practice in my heels. My mantra is like any other athlete. I know Taylor Swift, when she works out and has to sing her entire concert during the workout so that she knows she has the breath control to do it while working out, which is like incredibly hard.
Is quite remarkable.
It's very hard to do. I've worked out in heels.
Jeff's just like laughing.
because the gym's ugly.
Yeah.
Well, that is also very true.
Yeah, it is kind of
It's kind of a depressing
She might
space,
bring some more cool women feminized workout gear. Maybe that's a new thing for her.
I think some serious female athletes would be offended by that. Like, I don't need pink weights. Let's do this.
But maybe you would get
Let's
more
attack
people in.
the gyms. Let's attack the gyms now. Cancel the gyms. Coming up on DBL, good luck canceling that gym membership, by the way. It's tough. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is giving her take on political correctness. Is it a red flag if you're not sensitive to the PC police? Plus, friend of the show, Dr. Frank Anderson, is sharing his very personal story of going through gay conversion therapy as a child, how it took him another 2 decades to find his authentic self. welcome back. So last month, Jerry Seinfeld made headlines for saying that TV comedy has suffered due to the, quote, extreme left and PC crap, and people worrying so much about offending other people. Now his Seinfeld co-star, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is weighing in on what he said about political correctness. In a recent interview with the New York Times, Julia said, quote, "It doesn't mean that all comedy goes out the window as a result. When I hear people starting to complain about political correctness, to me, that's a red flag because it sometimes means something else. I believe being aware of certain sensitivities is not a bad thing." I love this story because I think if I had to pick a side, I'm on Jerry's side. It doesn't mean what Elaine, what Julia Louis-Dreyfus said isn't true, because I think some of the correction culture that we went through we needed it. We needed it, but it's gotten too far now. And I think just the popularity of the Tom Brady roast, which is #1 all time on Netflix, is showing that people are tired of the PC correctness.
But can I posit that we had to have gone that far in order to self-correct? No. It couldn't have gone. Yes, I can. You can't go halfway on something to try and change an entire social climate and culture.
What were you thinking right now?
I was just thinking.
Never mind.
Okay.
I had a lyric in my head.
Oh, okay.
At some point, you can't go halfway. You have to take the pendulum, turn it upside down, understand that people have been so marginalized.
Wouldn't the pendulum swing the exact same way if you turned it upside down?
Yeah, it would ruin the pendulum.
You're ruining the day.
It would just be the exact same thing.
But your logic is, man, I shouldn't just slap this guy. I should really teach him a lesson.
No.
Does it need to go that extreme far?
No, my analogy would be, do I half-ass give a lesson and half-teach that? Or do I fully understand and give you the full context? And then you have the right to make that decision. But if I don't give you the full context and the full hurt and the full pain of a whole people, of lots of groups that have been marginalized, then it is not going to really work and stick.
This is kind of like something that's been going on forever, because you know me, obviously, I've been doing comedy for 20 years. I listen to comedy podcasts, and I was listening to this guy that he just wrote a book. I'll get the name for it and post it. But it was about the idea that you can't say anything in comedy anymore. That phrase was first said by Will Rogers.
Yeah,
like this has been going on forever. Back when, like, hey, you can't make fun of the Jews anymore. Hey, you can't make fun of the blacks anymore.
The women and
this is what's comedy. And it's like, it's so weird, Jeff, that this has been such a cycle. And I think what Julia is saying and what Jerry is kind of complaining about is sometimes the society shifts and your jokes aren't hitting like they used to anymore. And it's just because the society has kind of changed a little bit. So, and I've noticed it with jokes I've had where I'm like, oh, that doesn't get the laugh it used to, because the society has changed, even though maybe you haven't. And I think it's hard for performers.
I was going to say, as a performer, as the only one that does literally stand up still now, you all the time, do you think you've had to really change and adapt your performance? Do you get nervous? Do you think it's changed how, you know, out there you can be, the kind of laughs and reaction that you want? Are people more sensitive? Does it make you think, oh, I can't actually say what I really want to say because people are going to walk out, I'm going to be cancelled?
I'm so glad you asked that, because I put it on myself. I'm like, if I can't say what I want to say, then maybe something's wrong with what I'm trying to say. And if I can say it and it's not getting the response I want, I put it on me, like maybe I'm not wording it cleverly enough. If I have an issue with something, if I don't like Disney World, coming out and saying Disney World sucked, anybody can say that. There has to be a subversive, funny way to get to you know, the best thing about Disney World, no lines. Like, it's just something to just kind of get into the audience. Like, I know what I'm saying is silly, but this is kind of something I want to talk about. And there's a way to enter into almost any conversation. And if it's not getting the laugh, whether it's me or Jerry Seinfeld, go back and write, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
But I get what you're saying with the PC. But yeah, I want to talk about that Brady roast. It's interesting you brought that up, because I feel the same way.
Yeah,
there is an itching for that. Absolutely.
Interesting combo. Coming up on DBL, Dr. Frank Anderson will be here to share his story of what Pride Month means to him after years of not being his true self.
Welcome back. It's Pride Month, a time for everyone to celebrate who they are. But the truth is, some people live their lives hiding their identity to fit in with society. That is exactly what happened to Dr. Frank Anderson. And earlier we spoke with him all about how Pride helped him on his path. Take a look.
Dr. Frank Anderson, welcome back to DBL.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here with you folks.
We were also excited to hear you were coming back. We're so excited. Happy Pride, first off. Woo! Yeah. Now, a big part of your story is how you started conversion therapy, and I want people to know this at just 6 years old. I want to ask you two questions. One, what made your parents want you to put you through that in the first place?
Yeah, you know what? Believe it or not, they were very well intended. Somebody caught me playing with my cousin's Barbie playhouse in the basement. I remember being yelled at. It was like the first time I felt shame. And my parents reached out to my uncle, who's also named Frank. He was a doctor. He's like, get him into therapy so we can make him act and be like a normal boy. They wanted me to be normal. Little did they know it would send me on a course of 6 years of weekly conversion therapy.
Oh my God. Okay. So it's interesting to hear they were well intended. I appreciate that part of it. Yeah, because I always think, oh, you know, I'm picturing something else. Now, I know this is difficult, but Doc, can you walk us through what therapy was?
Yeah, it was really a lot for me of disconnection and being who I was supposed to be. I remember going into this office. I remember a couple sessions, so much of it I disconnected from. I think it was a survival mechanism. Sure. I remember drawing a picture of my family, him asking me a lot of questions about my dad, who was physically and verbally abusive. And I also remember there were two chests of drawers over in the corner. One had boy toys, one had girl toys. I was only allowed to play with the boy toys. Jeez. Army men and battleships. I wasn't allowed to do arts and crafts. It was like this kind of programming me. And I was a smart kid and a quick learner. I'm like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be.
Wow. So when you look at it now as a psychiatrist, how does that kind of therapy change a young child's mind?
For me, it was all about disconnection, not knowing who I was or what I felt, right? It was total disconnection in order to be normal and to fit in. I mean, it was kind of a tragedy for me, honestly, because it took me, I married a woman, I came out at 32. Most of my life was living an inauthentic life.
Well, let's talk about that life when it started to connect with the life that was going to be your current future. What was it like when you first heard about the concept of Pride? I mean, that had to be a beautiful thing.
It was incredible for me. I lived in the Boston area. I bought a cottage in Provincetown, and I was surrounded by a bunch of people who were actually able to be authentically who they were, right? It was incredible. It was life-changing for me. And I have to say that, you know, in some ways, as much as Pride is incredible and amazing, I wish we didn't even have to have a pride. Honestly, I wish we all could be who we naturally are, no matter what that is. But for now, that's what culture and society needs. So I'm all for it.
Okay, we have about a minute left, but on our show, we've talked about how corporations are pulling back on their Pride merchandise because of the backlash last year. So why do you feel there is still such a hateful divide in America for everything that Pride stands for?
I think we're slow learners as culture and society, honestly. I think there was huge progress forward with the gay marriage. That threw things forward in a way that freaked out a lot of people. And so I think there's this backlash that happens, right? So I think we have one step forward, two steps back, one step forward, two steps back. So if we look at it in the big picture, there is a lot of progress. You know, being gay was a disorder in 1973. Wow. It's no longer a disorder, but we keep moving back and forth around these steps forward. Really, truly, whether you have a disability, whether your skin color, your sexual orientation, at some point, I'm hoping it's going to be okay for all of us to be who we are.
Beautifully said. Dr. Anderson, thank you so much for joining us today. DBL Nation, pick up Dr. Anderson's memoir, To Be Loved, available everywhere. Thank you again. Happy Pride. We appreciate you. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. We'll be right back.
The Caribbean is calling you. This June, we're celebrating Caribbean Heritage Month with Sandals by giving away 2 all-inclusive vacations to any Sandals resort of your choice. Watch DBL every day for a word of the day. Then enter at dailyglasslab.com/sandals for your chance to win a 4-day, 3-night escape for 2. The winner will be announced on DBL June 26. Make memories for a lifetime and start entering for your chance to win a trip to any Sandals resort. Today's word of the day is snorkeling.
Welcome back. What you eat could be inflaming your joints. Experts say drinking alcohol and eating fried or ultra-processed foods like lunch meat can make arthritis worse. So have you ever noticed if you eat certain foods, your body feels a little bit different?
I just last night had alcohol and processed meat, so I'm worried. But it is, I did read somewhere that they were like the really only bad things you have to worry about are alcohol and processed meat, so I got to stay away from them. My family has a history of arthritis, so I got to be careful about that.
So you went right into it yesterday.
I dove in
You're
deep.
like, I'm just going to go for
Well, there's prosciutto on the plate. You want me to not eat it?
I
hear you.
I'm
What am I,
Team
an
Tori on that
animal?
one. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can't.
With a cracker and a good cracker, not like
And then the good cheese. And
delicious,
you're like, oh,
like a
man.
brie, a Saint-André.
Oh.
C'est parfait.
Oh.
My joints are inflamed right now. All right. While you are building strength in your muscles, don't forget to support your joints. Something that can help your joints is Omega XL. It's a powerful joint support that's helped millions of consumers and is backed by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-814-6985 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. A lot of words today.
Yeah, are you
A lot of
okay?
words.
You tired?
A lot of words for a Monday.
Sorry.
Tori got me thinking about prosciutto.
I know. I'm going to go have some meat.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Take a
nice.
nap and rest my joints. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place.